Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the morning show right here on Main Street TV, where we have, as you can see, a very special guest here in the studio, and that is President Ryan Smith from the University of Rio Grande and Rio Grande Community College. So we want to welcome you. Thank you for coming in.
It's good to be back.
Of course, we always have so much fun, and you always tell us all kind of exciting things when you come in here. So this is good.
So.
Yes, and we're going to talk about do you have something coming up that people are kind of like excited about? Refresh my memory.
Maybe like the first football game in 70 years for Rio Grande.
That's it. I knew it was something like that. Well, I'll tell you what, we have all kind of things that we're going to get into today. We're going to find out about all things Rio Grande and to talk about that little thing called football and marching band here in just a moment. But first we have a message, and then we'll be right back.
At Vinton County National Bank, we believe in supporting the areas where we live and work. Now, we'd like to honor those who also serve our communities. Our new Community Champions account is especially for first responders, veterans, active military, and anyone employed in the fields of healthcare or education. This account offers rewards, discounts, and other benefits to those who give so much to others. Vinton County National Bank, rewarding those who serve.
All right, and we are back with President Ryan Smith. So welcome, and again, thank you for coming in because you are a busy, busy guy.
Oh, you're welcome. Happy to be here.
Yes, and I know that you always have so much stuff going on, and Rio is growing by leaps and bounds, and so I think you might have something to do with that, but also a very forward-thinking staff as well, and a lot of cool people down there that are making things in Rio grow like crazy.
Yeah, I kind of put the parts and the pieces in the right direction. Everybody else takes care of it. So
yeah.
They do a lot of the heavy lifting.
Well, I think that you're doing a good job guiding the ship. How's that?
Thank you.
So tell us, as president, you know, you have a lot of balls in the air all of the time. And so what are some of the things that you're working on right now? I know we're going to talk about football because that's an exciting one. But what else do you have going on?
Well, you know, with the growth we've had, we're always looking at how do we continue to invest in our future. And we've got a lot of different projects going on. Just for instance, with the incoming class we have, it's probably the biggest freshman class Rio's ever had.
Whoa.
We won't know that until August for sure, but I'm pretty sure we're on track to set that. And with that being the case, we had to remodel the cafeteria to open up more capacity.
Oh, okay.
We have more resident students registered for fall than we've ever had.
That's
so
amazing.
We have grown a lot on that side, so it's really kind of preparing for everything that's coming our way.
Yeah.
But also, you know, beefing up on our academic side with tutors and just trying to get as prepared to make everybody successful as we can.
You know, and I mean, a few years ago when I was in high school and whatever, and people were talking about going to college, you know, you thought of Rio as basically a commuter college. There weren't a lot of kids that stayed on campus, maybe a handful. But now you all have built this new dorm and done so much work down there that there's a lot of kids staying on campus now.
There were a little over 200, I think, when I arrived in 2019. We're going to be probably in the 650 to 700 range this fall.
That is crazy.
You can
Good for
imagine
you.
how the environment changes when that happens.
So much fun.
Yeah, so there's so much to do, and that's why adding band, which also leads to pep band and symphonic band and grand chorale and so many different things that people can be involved in, so that, you know, when they're not in class, they're part of something and they find their community.
Sure. Extracurricular things as well.
There you go.
Yeah, and the grand chorale, a couple of the members were on the other day, Dan, and then the director was on talking about their trip to Wales. And I mean, those are things that kids, when are you really going to get the opportunity to go to Wales? But if you're doing it through school, I mean, that is just amazing. And they were glowing with how much fun they had.
We have a study abroad program every year. The Grand Chorale went to Wales. They've gone to Europe in the past. different. Just it's kind of anybody who wants to go, our faculty lead it. It's a great opportunity. To your point, I mean, you don't get that opportunity very often, and it's priced really affordably, in my opinion.
Yep. And I think that's, if you don't travel like when you're young and don't think about it, just go.
Right.
And know that you're taken care of and that you'll have places to stay and food and that there will be someone there to help you out and watch over you. I mean, it's just such a enormous opportunity for these kids. But yeah, they had so much fun. I could just tell. I could just tell. They were just...
Dan and Beth would be good leaders to have on a trip.
Yes. They said Dan, of course, is like celebrity when he goes back home because he knows everybody.
Everywhere
he is. He is a hoot. I enjoy him so much. Okay, so let's get into... Tell us a little bit about some of the new dorm that was built, how that came to be. Because I think the last time that I was down... When I met with you, it was either being built or had just opened, and that's exciting.
It was exciting.
It's a really cool space.
It's the biggest investment that Rio's made in its future in a long time. $20 million. It was 186 beds. We expected our first year to be about 50% full. We were about 80% full last fall when we opened in August.
That is crazy.
And it's different than our traditional style dorms, which have hallway bathrooms and showers.
Yes.
This has individual bathrooms and showers inside the unit. It's apartment style.
Yeah, is it like a studio apartment or is it more like apartment?
It's kind of an apartment. I mean, it has a kitchen, like a kitchenette with a full refrigerator and sink and everything, and then there's a living room. And depending on which configuration there's 2 doubles or there's 3 singles or different things like that. So it's been a really nice dorm for us because, again, most of our dorms are co-ed, but they're every other floor kind of thing.
Yeah.
Because they have to be because of the bathrooms. This could be every
that
other
makes
door.
Sense.
But it's opened up a lot of opportunity for us.
Sure.
And we were growing. We were going to max out our space, and it's like, do you put money into the old dorms, bring them up to speed? But you're never going to change the hallway bathrooms. The apartment styles really what the students want. So we decided to go that way, and here we are, probably going to be maxed out again on our dorm capacity. So
we'll just build another one.
I don't know if we're going to do that right away. It's a big undertaking.
It's no big deal. Just build another one.
And that's on main campus. We have a $11 million project going in MacArthur where we're building a new center.
Yes.
That is sorely needed. So that actually has the walls up. It's going to be open in January. Randy Evans Construction is building that for us. We've been really pleased at the progress we're making there. We've got Jackson Center, $1.5 million project going into the Jackson Center to remodel the back, which used to be the bowling alley years ago. Most people would remember it as that.
We remember that, yes.
It'll be a manufacturing kind of training that will serve
so cool.
The General Mills, the Belicios, the Kenworths. I think it'll be so functional. So if people want to get training, and they'll send their workers for incumbent training as well. So a really nice piece. We opened Pike County last spring, so we're getting up and running in that one. So we've just got a lot of projects going. We got a locker room being built on main campus now for soccer, men and women's soccer, and then men's football. So that's a $3 million project. There's no lack of things to try and keep track of right now.
Well, and that's what I'm sitting here thinking. As the president, what is your role in all these projects?
Well, honestly, our chief operating officer, Rebecca Long, takes care of a lot of the details as far as overseeing the projects. I get regular updates from her. I am truly blessed with a great team of individuals at Rio that keep things moving forward. My money's really, or my job is to really try to raise the money to keep these things going, have a vision of where we're going, and keep us positioned where we need to be, and then hopefully everybody can bring their parts together.
You're exactly right about that. And as I'm sitting here thinking, you just mentioned, off the top of your head, several projects that are, we're talking about multi-millions of dollars. How do you come up with the money for those?
Well, we've been fortunate. We got $11 million actually 12.5 when they included Jackson in the governor's Appalachian Growth Initiative. So we were able to garner those dollars and and pay for a lot of it that way. We've tried to keep our debt as low as possible. That's why we're playing in Alumni Stadium and not rolling out a new stadium at Rio Grande. We're trying to ease our way into this. We'll get the locker room built in phase 1. Hopefully phase 2 will be the field and the stands. So, consistently growing and trying to get donors involved in Rio Grande.
Yeah.
A lot of schools, I like to say if you give $1 million to our flagship university, Ohio State, that you'll be a small asterisk in the book. And at Rio Grande, you're going to see a huge difference.
Yeah, that is true.
For sure. So a lot of opportunity, a lot of ways to get involved for the community that if they get involved, they realize how much fun it is. Whether that's like being an adjunct, which we're always looking for adjunct professors because with the growth that we've had, we have a lot of demand, especially on the gen eds and things like that. So we're looking for professors all the time. We've hired some new full-time professors this year to keep up with the growth. So it's kind of a balancing act, trying to keep it all moving forward.
So tell us a little bit about, requirements for that. If you're needing professors, what do you have to be?
Typically, depending on what level you want to teach, if it's a lower level like an associate degree course, you'd have to have a bachelor's in that area. If it's a bachelor's area course, you'd have to have a master's. If you do much more than that, you have to have a concentration of at least 18 hours or a higher level degree.
Okay.
So it kind of depends on
what you're teaching.
Yeah, but we have a lot of adjuncts to qualify for our lower level courses, but I think what they enjoy the most is the interaction with the students.
Sure.
It's a lot of fun. They bring a lot of energy, and they're there for all the right reasons, and they want to better themselves. So,
and I think it's so very cool. And I mean, I know in being a business owner here and having staff that are in college, it sure does make it nice when they can run over to the Jackson Center, go to a class, and then still get to work, have no problem getting, to work. Because I think a lot of college students are working as they're, working their way through or whatever. So that is super helpful. And even if they're down on campus, the main campus for a day or two, but then have a class here, it makes it very, very convenient. So, the kids are able to kind of travel around and do what works for them.
So the community college mission is really to try to take, at least from Rio Grande's standpoint, is to try to take education to the masses if they can't make it to Rio Grande.
Yes.
If you think about here, it's a half hour, which doesn't sound like a lot, but for a lot of people, that's challenging. If you go from MacArthur to Rio Grande, it's an hour almost. So, that's an impediment to education, which is why we've invested in the centers to get people up and started. And a lot of times what I've seen, which is really cool, is to see a student start who didn't really know if they could complete college classes, and then they build this confidence and they go on and they get an associate's degree, and oftentimes beyond that, because they know they can do it. For a lot of our students, the hardest thing is walking in the doors the first day.
Getting started.
Yeah.
Yeah, just, and it's intimidating, and you're just not sure, a lot of us are our own worst critic, and you're just not sure if you can make it happen or not. So.
Well, and
you can.
You absolutely can. So considering who we serve, like half of our students are first-generation degree seekers. So there's nobody in their family that they go to say, hey, can you help me with financial aid or this FAFSA form? And there's not a lot of knowledge in the family because they didn't go to college. Nothing wrong with that, but it shouldn't be an impediment for getting them through. And when they realize that they're amongst a population that's pretty much like them.
Yeah, you're not alone.
Right. It makes them feel a lot more comfortable. But we put a lot of supports in place with success coaches to try to make people as comfortable as possible because we want them to retain and finish.
Well, and that's what I was thinking too. I mean, you have resources to help people with the financial aid forms and all of that stuff. All you have to do is ask.
Exactly. Just don't be overwhelmed by the process. It's not as hard as it looks. It's like everything else when you're unfamiliar with something. It looks impossible. So make the call, stop by. Our admissions department does a great job. Our success coaches do a great job, and they help with a lot of things outside of just academics. I mean, we have a lot of challenges that our students face.
Sure.
So we do our best to try and put those supports in place to help them be successful.
See, there you go. So you have no excuse, right?
That's right.
So, all right, let's get to that little football thing that you have going on and the marching band, and, they go hand in hand so well. And how did football... How did it come to be? I mean, Rio hasn't had a football team in, 50 years, 70 years?
70 years, yeah.
70, undefeated, though, for 70 years
right.
is what they say.
The coach really doesn't like those shirts.
But, no, I think that's really such an interesting thing. And when I heard football at Rio, everyone's mind was just like blown. So how'd you get the idea, or whose idea was it, and how did it come to fruition?
Well, we've started a lot of athletic teams since I've been in Rio. I think we went from 16 with football to be 28. So we had started a lot, nothing quite at all to the magnitude of football.
I mean, football's it's a whole other animal,
right.
I'm sure. You're finding out.
It is, absolutely is. So I'm involved in a lot in the NAI, which is our National Association Intercollegiate Athletics. So it's kind of like the NCAA, but made up of a lot of smaller schools and gives you a lot of autonomy. Anyway, I was at these conferences and meeting other presidents and talking to them, and a lot of them are kind of looking for ways to grow. And when it came to sports, they would say, do you have football? And I'd say, no, we don't have football. We've never had football. People say it's expensive to begin.
Yeah, I would think so, yes.
I mean, there's no question about that. But it also it attracts a lot. And in Ohio, I mean, we're proud of a lot of things. We're really proud of our football.
Yeah, yeah, football's a lot here.
When we announced it, I felt like we broke the internet in Southeast Ohio.
I think you're right. Like, I haven't seen that much excitement in a really long time.
The amount of shares and everything we had on Facebook that it spread was really incredible. And just the excitement amongst players who are like, I thought my career was over, but I still want to play.
Sure.
And now I'm coming. And usually what I've seen is interesting in football is like you get a player from a school and then you get 3 more, because their buddies want to come play with them. And a lot of the presidents told me, you'll have girlfriends or buddies of the people coming to play that will also come to your school because now you have football. And they said whether you agree with it or not, football kind of legitimizes your college.
Sure. In
their minds. Mm-hmm. So all of which we've seen happen. I mean, that has held true. And
is it surprising to you?
I don't know if it's surprising from that standpoint. I mean, I think I saw the upside from the amount of students. If you think about, if you're a decent football player, there's not a lot of opportunity in our region to be able to go play unless you want to pay a lot of money and go to a D3 NCAA school.
Yes.
So for us, having a value proposition in the community college along with the university, it ties into where they can afford to attend and play football. So I saw that opportunity, and the same thing works with band.
Yeah.
Because they want that opportunity. It's not like you can just walk on to the band programs at OU or Ohio State or something like that. So it fits the same way. And I think in a couple, 3 years, it's going to be incredible to see what it looks like. But, I would expect this fall we'll probably have 120 football players on our team.
Whoa.
Yeah. Which is part of what is scary and exciting all at the same time. It's a lot. And when I said expanding the cafeteria, it's
I think football players probably eat a lot, don't
exactly. And then you throw in the rugby players who are ginormous themselves. So it's going to be a great fall. August 1st, we're actually bringing in football and soccer and some of our fall sports. I can't wait to see. Of course, last year we opened spring, we opened up our new fitness center.
Yes, it is awesome.
It is. It turned out great and just in time to be able to expand into where we're at. Our track team actually has grown by about 40 this year, so we're at 115 to 120. Matt Paxton's our coach, done a phenomenal job. So all of this coming together at the same time between track and football and band, it's an extra 200 students that maybe would have come, but certainly are now.
Well, that's a whole dorm's worth.
It is.
Right?
It is. So a lot of exciting things. This fall will look different than anything we've seen at Rio Grande before. So it's like it's like being on the Beast or Kings Island, right? It's like, hold on.
Yeah.
It's going to be an exciting ride.
Exactly. But so much fun along the way, too. And so are you a little bit, I don't know if this is the right word, but intimidated maybe by the football program? And what I mean by that is, I mean, there's going to be hiccups along the way. You can't start a brand new program from scratch and not have some little quirks and things along the way.
Well, the one thing I learned is there's so many moving parts with football. Just to have a game, there are so many different positions that you have to take care of. It's not like basketball where you have statisticians down here and you have the referees and somebody filming and calling the game. It goes well beyond that. Mm-hmm. There's just a lot of moving parts. So that side of things is a little bit nerve-wracking, apprehensive about that, but we're excited. We're excited to kick off our first game here in Jackson August 30th.
Yes.
Move that start to 3:30 because Ohio State, Texas plays at noon.
That's right. See, he's smart. He thinks about all this.
Well, I'd like to take credit for that, but other people did that. Let's say I employ a lot of smart people.
Mr. President, we have to talk about something. Yeah. It's called Ohio State Buckeyes football. Yeah.
But yes, there's a lot with football to be intimidated about, I guess. But my main concern is that we get everybody in, we get them settled, we make them understand that they're student athletes, meaning students first. We have tutors there to help them. We support them along the way because, too many times people want to focus on the sport they're playing and forget that
they're there for school. Yeah.
To get an education, and they have to stay eligible, and it's hard balancing athletics and education in college. It just is, and it's not for everybody. So trying to work their way through that at a higher level of rigor than probably what they're used to is challenging. Yeah,
it absolutely is. So, and you will be playing the Rio games here at Alumni Stadium in Jackson, which works out great because Alumni Stadium in Jackson is awesome and actually probably better than some college stadiums. So that works out well. How will that work with ticketing and things like that?
So you can buy tickets online. If you go to rio.edu, there's an athletics drop down and it'll take you to RedStorm.com. You can buy your tickets online. You can buy them at the gate.
Okay.
Yeah. And the only other thing you'll have is Jackson will charge for parking when they park people.
I think it's like nominal. It's like $5 or something like that.
$5 a car. So for our games, it'll be $10 entry fee. And when you think about Saturdays in the fall, a lot of people think about Ohio State. Well, unfortunately, that's gotten so expensive that if you go for a family of four, it's costly. So,
oh my gosh,
I like to think we're going to put a good product on the field, create a nice environment. We're obviously playing in a great stadium. I tell a lot of people it's D2 level stadium.
Oh,
it's fantastic.
It is unbelievable.
So I'm really thankful that we worked that out with Jackson City Schools, and they were gracious enough to help us there and get us up and running. And we're just excited to get the season started.
That's right. So you say the guys will be there, August 1st to start, or have they already been practicing? Or
August 1st is when they're beginning. So they come in and get their physicals out of the way and then begin practice, and we're off and running.
Oh, man. So exciting. Now, let's talk about, we mentioned the band. Let's talk about that for a moment.
So the marching band, this is our first year. I don't expect it to be huge this year, maybe 35, 40. But there's, great opportunity there for a lot. I think we could grow that to 75 or 80 in the future.
Absolutely. And again, you've got kids that thought that was it, that I'll never play my instrument again in a band. And now all of a sudden they have this opportunity that they wouldn't have had before.
Another example of, giving students the and proposition. I want to get an education and continue to do what I love.
Yeah.
And that's what band offers them. So we're excited about that. And then in the wintertime, he's going to take a subcomponent of the marching band who wants to be involved and create a pep band. So for basketball games.
Which is so fun.
Oh, yeah. The environment it creates.
It changes the whole playing field.
And
pun intended.
The student athletes love playing in front of it. I could see us doing that at some soccer games or baseball and softball. just a lot of opportunity. And then symphonic band ties into that as well. So you could come and do all three, or you can do one, or you can do two. It's one of those things. And we offer scholarships for the band members as well to help with their offset their cost of education. So we're trying to make it work, and I think everything's going to come together. We're kind of up against it on getting uniforms and things like that. So in the first year, we're going to learn a lot, and we're going to grow into this. And second year, we're going to be a little bit more prepared just because we'll know what's coming at us.
You know, it's really hard to prepare for something that you don't know is going to happen or not happen.
It is.
You know, it's wild to have to think forward about all of this.
You know, and after you, like football or band, right? After you order like one set of uniforms, you have one set of uniforms. But, you know, not everybody's the same size. Not everybody wears the same size.
Correct.
So when you go to order stuff, it's like you can only get so far ahead until you build an inventory of it. So that's why I say second, third year, I think it'll be much easier. But, you know, we're going into it with our eyes wide open. We're excited to have it. Nothing will be perfect, but it'll be a lot of fun.
It will be fun, and that's part of the fun of it. So let's talk about some of the other sports that you have added. You mentioned the rugby team. That is a hoot if you've never been or seen that.
Rugby is an incredible sport. It's probably the toughest sport I've ever watched.
It's insane.
Yeah.
Why would you want to do that to yourself?
I mean, for nobody in Southeast Ohio, I shouldn't say nobody, not many people were familiar with rugby.
That's true.
And when you go to watch it and you see 250-pound men carrying a ball that normally would be blocking for somebody in football.
Yes.
They're carrying the ball, and they're not running around people. They're like, I got to go from here to here, and I'm going to go
I'm going to run through you. And I don't, and by the way, I don't have, a lot of pads on either.
Right. As in like none.
Like none.
Yeah.
I have on shorts and a jersey.
So it's been incredible. I think everybody who's been to it really enjoys rugby. It's a lot of fun. There are a lot of nuances with the rules that I'm still learning. But once you get a sense of it, it makes sense. One of the newer sports we added last year was archery. And
That's cool.
Yeah, we actually hired Jonathan Clemens, who is the Paralympic coach. So when you watch the Olympics, if you watch them shooting, oftentimes in a wheelchair or maybe missing limbs or something like that. I mean, it's amazing. It really is. Anyway, they won a couple of golds under his leadership last year.
And you have that guy as a coach?
We did, and we finished third nationally.
Wow.
He's done a tremendous job, and because of who he is, he draws people from all around. I think we had 27 or 28 on the roster, 2 of which were from Ohio. Everybody else was from out of state.
Really?
Because they knew of him, they wanted to come shoot for him. So it's an amazing program. I mean, they shoot 3 different seasons. He does a great job, but it's something that people oftentimes don't realize you have until they read about it, and they've done amazing things.
Yeah, that is wild. And then you all have added esports, I know, because we have some people here in this building that are involved in that, which is super cool. And that's something that I think is a lot of people don't know about. It's been around for a while, but still growing.
Absolutely, yeah. I think people just think, I can't believe you give scholarships for people to play video games. But the reality is, in that industry, it's about a $5 billion industry.
Yeah, don't knock it.
Oh, it's tremendous, and again, it gives our students a community of people of which to become friends with, and we all know, no matter what college you go to, when that happens, your ability to retain and want to be a part of it goes up, and hopefully you finish your degree. That's the whole idea. And esports has been really successful in a lot of ways. We've got a new person leading that since last year, and Mackenzie's done a good job. He does a good job, and
he's fun.
They have a lot of fun. I've tried to watch it before. I will admit, it's without a narrator to tell you what's happening. It's kind of hard if you don't know what you're watching. But I remember we beat the University of Alabama in one of our matches, and I was like, "Yep, there we go. We beat Alabama." I mean,
now you can say you beat Alabama, right? No, listen. The esports thing is very humbling. So Dylan brought in his, what do you call it, Adrian? His thingy. game console. Thank you. The thingy.
Yeah,
he brought
the
the
thingy.
thingy in with the
We're
control
using technical
thingies.
terms here.
Yes.
The thingy.
Thank you, Adrian. You saved me. Brought that in one time. I couldn't even figure out how to use the controller thingy. He was like, "We just do this, do this, do this," and I'm like, and all I did was die.
You're younger
over.
than me, so I'll say this, but our generation grew up with like Atari, which had a joystick and a button. Yeah.
That was it.
They have like endless amount of buttons.
I know, and I'm like, I only have 2 thumbs. Like,
Right.
and why are there 50 buttons on this thing?
Yeah, I can't.
So
I try to play
Atari,
that with my
easy.
kids, and it's like, yeah, no, I die in the first if it's Call of Duty or something like that, I'm out quick.
Yeah. And that's pretty much what happened to me. And he's going, just jump. I'm like, I don't remember what button jumps. Like, I don't know. So, but yes, no, if you want to get humbled real quick, try to play a video game in today's world. And if you think that that should not be considered a sport, you're sadly mistaken, because if you're good at it, and, honestly, you can win a lot of money playing esports. So,
And they have a tremendous amount of people that tune in and watch. So it's become more of a spectator sport.
Which
the
is
industry's
interesting.
just really grown.
It is. It
The
has.
beauty of it from a president's perspective is there's no travel cost, right?
Yeah, because it's all
they're-
online.
Right. They're playing. They're in our arena. They're playing there. They don't travel. Well, they could travel places for tournaments or something, but for the most part, they don't. So it's
Correct.
it's an extremely efficient program,
Yeah.
which I appreciate.
Yeah, I'll bet. And that brings us back to the whole football thing. I was thinking about, you are not playing on campus, so there will be some that's going to be a logistical thing as well.
It is. That's part of what the moving parts you have to
The
figure
band
out.
and the team, and are there cheerleaders too?
Oh, yeah.
So all
Cheerleading is another area we didn't mention, but that's another spot that people want to continue to cheer in college. And we have, I think we're approaching 30 on our cheer team. Dream has done an amazing job with that team and incorporated a lot of different things. And now with football, it's like even more.
here we go with that. Yeah.
So just a lot of things, a lot of areas of growth.
Very good. Well, I know we focused a lot on sports here, and let's get back to kind of, the bread and butter, which is academics at Rio. And what are some of the programs maybe that you have added or you're hoping to add or that you're super excited about coming up in the future? I know, wasn't there like an agricultural kind of program
We've added
that you were working on?
agriculture with a meat science specialty to it a couple of years ago. Anytime you start a new program, it's interesting. It takes a little while to get up and running. Our cohorts have grown in that for sure, so it's doing better. But we've also added like an ag business component to that, because if you're running a farm, the business side of things really matters, right? You have to be able to make sure you're profitable, hopefully.
Yeah, for sure.
And then we added an ag educator degree, because education's our largest program, and we've been known for educators for a long time. So if you think about your shop class FFA kind of person in high schools, a lot of them they're an aging population, and there's an opportunity there. So we're really trying to take it from just meat science to open it up to some other things.
Okay.
So
Love that.
it's kind of branching off in a lot of different directions and hopefully attracting more. But the main thing is people need to know in our area, if you want to study agriculture, you don't have to go far from home.
Exactly.
And that works out pretty well.
And there is the whole commuter aspect still. We talked about kids living on campus, but listen, if you grew up on a farm, you're probably working it or helping your family work it. And, if you need to stay there and continue to do that, you can, of course, commute. And that's a very convenient thing as well.
It is. We have most of our ag students would be that, although when we add football and things like that, we tend to get more in that area. So they could be on campus, but a lot of resident students for the reasons you said. They're working on the farm with mom, dad, grandpa, grandma,
Sure.
grandpa, whoever it might be, and continuing to do that while getting an education. So It's been a good program. It's been a success. We're always looking for ways to make it better and hiring the right people in those areas. So we're pretty pleased with it.
Very cool. So what does a meat science degree? What is?
Well, you could be
what
like
job
you
do
could
you
be a
get?
meat inspector, right? So you go to slaughterhouses and kill facilities, and you go in and inspect meat and so on and so forth. You could
Okay.
work in one of those facilities. You might work in an Archer Daniels Midland kind of like big industry kind of thing. Here's a fun fact that I learned about agriculture that everybody liked. If you think about it, when you go to the fair and you have animal judging, right?
Mm-hmm.
So there's somebody talking into the microphone saying, "Oh, I like this, and look at this, look at the rounding of all
Sure.
this." They really like that program because it teaches people to be critical thinkers on their feet. It
Okay.
teaches them to articulate their thoughts, and they all have to, and it all has to move quickly, right? So they're, and I know a lot of the agriculture people told me that they said these are qualities that we look for a variety of things in agriculture. So it might not be specific to one area. It's a good skill set that helps you do that. So we've tried to delve into that area as
Okay.
well,
Yeah.
and just try to expose our students to some different things, and hopefully. Obviously, judging animals is a good thing too. We have a lot of that in Southeast Ohio.
Oh, yeah.
The fairs plus livestock shows and things like that. So it would be helpful no matter what. But I thought that was an interesting anecdote of how that.
Yeah.
I really hadn't thought about it, but you have to think on your feet and articulate your thoughts, and it's just a lot of core components you're looking for in an employee.
Listen, this goes back to the whole public speaking thing. And, I know that people get frustrated that they're forced to take speech class in college and high school and whatever. But I'm telling you, if you don't have that public speaking ability, that's one of the skills that will take you farther than anything.
Yeah, and I think that's the number one fear of people, right?
It is.
It's
They
not
say that.
death, it's public speaking.
It's public speaking.
I totally agree with you. I think public speaking is an incredibly important course that if you get a chance to do or get exposed to, facing your fear, getting up and doing that.
Absolutely.
I can remember early in life I felt like, I'm going to throw up before I do this. And the more you do it, you get used to it.
Sure.
And becomes second nature.
Yep. That's why I always say, and this has nothing to do with Rio. Well, it does, because I guess some of our would be students, but being a host at a restaurant, as we've gone through, numerous ones over the years, I've not had one leave that has not said, I had no idea how I was going to grow in this job. It is probably top 3 hardest jobs in a restaurant, and we make 16-year-old girls do it. I've never understood why we put, young ladies up there to fend for themselves, but you want to talk about public speaking and trying to corral adults that are acting like children sometimes.
Conflict resolution.
I mean, all of it,
Yeah.
like organization. I mean, it is, and it's like, wow, I learned a lot.
You have to do it all with a smile on your face.
And you do,
right?
yes.
Yeah, I think a lot of jobs in the restaurants, waiting tables and things like that is good exposure and
It is.
customer service. And
Everyone should have to do it.
you just get a sense of how things work or don't work, and
Or what you don't want to do, or what you do want to do.
maybe how you should treat people when you're in the other side of it.
Exactly. That's why I say everyone should have to be in hospitality at some point in their life. But anyway, we digress. So some of the other cool things that you have coming up academically.
So we just hired a new computer science professor, which is an area that's been hard to hire for because the industry pays a lot, and
Okay,
it's
that makes sense.
hard to attract people in certain
Sure.
areas, and that's one of them. I'm really excited to see what he wants to do. He's from the Cleveland area, relocating down here, so I think that'll open up a lot of different opportunities. We've done a lot online through computer science, through a shared education program we have, which is a really good program. This will be a little bit more hands-on, in face-to-face, although anymore most of the students prefer online, I think, for the flexibility. So,
Yeah.
but I'm excited about that program. There's a lot of things happening. Our environmental science and wildlife program is growing unbelievably.
Oh, I didn't know that was a thing.
Yeah, so when you think, like our wildlife professor, Wayne Rosser's just phenomenal. When he comes in to talk to me or talk to the board, he can make, like he tracks turtles. They have a little antenna that go on the top of turtles to track their movements. And I'm totally not going to make sense when I say all this. There's a point to all of it, but he makes that kind of thing sound so interesting that you want to learn.
Yeah.
And it doesn't matter what he's talking about, but he's working on some land conservation piece on the Bob Evans farms that we're going to grow some things, and I think it's going to be really cool in the future. I should actually have him come up and talk to you because you would love it.
Please.
But then I say, well, Wayne, what do people do with your, when I think wildlife program, I think of ODNR, which it is.
Correct.
Or the federal side of things, and that's true. And when you bring in the environmental side, you bring in a lot of like EPA stuff or the situation that happened in Austin Powder in Benton County.
Sure.
These are like environmental kind of things. I mean, there's so many opportunities in that field that you don't really think of, and I'm really proud of the growth they've had in those programs.
That is super cool. And you get to track turtles.
And you get to track turtles. The things they do with flying squirrels and different things like that. I mean, it's really neat. I mean, it's a great program.
That is so cool. Didn't know. I didn't know that you had such a program.
We will
that's
get
really
Dr.
fun.
Rosser up here because
Yeah,
I'm
please.
telling you would enjoy the conversation.
Only if he brings a turtle.
Well, he might.
You never know.
Or he'll probably bring up his iPad. I assume they have some way of like looking, but that's how they find them. So pretty neat.
That's awesome. Well, is there anything else that you wanted to talk about today and let our viewers kind of know that you all are up to in Rio Grande? Well, here's something I want to bring up before we let you get out of here because I know you're busy. The last time we were down in Rio, I think we met with you, Jamie and I did, about something. But in driving around the little village, number one, the campus is absolutely stunning. Like it's like so quaint and pretty, and you just feel so at home there. But there's also so many businesses now. You think Rio and Bob Evans, that's all you have. But there have been so many things added that would be great for the kids and the adults that come for sporting events and all that stuff.
There has been a lot happening outside of campus, and I'm really proud of our team and the way they take care of campus because I get compliments on it all the time.
It's gorgeous.
But even the village, like they've torn down a lot of the old eyesores and put up new homes, and just everything's grown together. I used to joke that when we built a $20 million dorm, the students were half as excited about that as they were when Taco Bell came to town.
Right?
They were super excited about that, which is so deflating for me. But I digress.
Hey, priorities.
Yeah. But it has grown a lot, and to see the village do that at the same time, it's really cool. There's a lot of Airbnbs in the area because of the parents and different people traveling through, and I think they stay pretty busy. So it's a great place to visit. I like to say our beauty will bring you here, our kindness will keep you.
Love that.
And a lot of people come and they're like, wow, this is like tucked away, and you don't know it's here, and it's beautiful.
Adorable, absolutely adorable. And you have Mayor Matt.
And Mayor Matt.
And Mayor Matt is so cool.
He is. He's very forward thinking. So
love Mayor Matt.
The right person at the right time to make this all come together.
Yes, and I'm sure that you all have to work together quite a bit on some of those things. So, well, very good. Well, President Ryan Smith, we thank you so much for stopping by today and hanging with us.
Always good to be here.
It's always fun to have you here because Rio, I know when you come in, you're going to have so many fun things to tell us that you're up to.
We've got a lot going on, so if you haven't been to campus in a while, stop by, but more importantly, come to a football game and watch our band and our football team and
that's right.
all the other things happening.
First game, August 30th, right here in Jackson at Alumni Stadium. And it will be a 3:30 game because, can't compete with those Buckeyes. And get tickets. You can go to the Rio website or get them at the gate.
Right. Either
Very
one.
Cool.
Probably be better off to get them ahead of time because
I would think
the first game will be pretty popular.
I'd say it's going to be very popular. So, and who will you be playing? Do you know?
We're playing Defiance. It's
Okay.
in Northwest Ohio.
Very cool.
So if you're interested too, there's season tickets on sale as well.
Oh,
So
good
you
point.
can reserve your seat and you can have that. And I know they've started selling those a week and a half ago, and they seem to have been going pretty well.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you for stopping by, and best of luck in all the stuff going on.
Thank you. I look forward to coming back and talking about how we did.
That's right. That's right. Okay, well, I'll tell you what, our good friend Pete Wilson just walked in, and I think he got some rest after his wild night at the livestock sale at the Jackson County Fair and, all the other weekend stuff he has to do. So I'll tell you what, we'll have a message or two, and then we'll be back with our good friend Pete Wilson. Just a moment.
From breaking news to heartwarming stories, the Telegram is your ticket to the latest buzz in town.
Read your daily dose of local headlines, sports, and entertainment and more, in hand and on paper.
Get a print and digital subscription for only $7.95 per month. Delivered fresh every Wednesday and Saturday.
Visit thetelegramnews.com or call 740-286-3023 today.
Don't just read the news, be a part of it.
Saturday, August 16th is Southern Rock Woodstock in the Gallipolis Fairgrounds. This event will feature 3 decades of original artists and legends, such as Leonard Skinner, 38 Special, and Molly Hatchet. In light of this event, Total Media will be giving away 4 VIP tickets. For a chance to win these exclusive passes, comment your favorite Southern Rock song, and our staff will vote on which one is the best. Good luck, and may the best man rock out.
Did you know Jackson is home to a locally owned and operated full-service print shop? Zip Printing covers all your print, signage, and design needs. From business cards, booklets, and posters to yard signs, banners, screen-printed t-shirts, oversized signage, and more. We can help you or your business advertise and look good doing it. Zip Printing also offers logo design. Allow us to assist you in building or elevating your brand today. Zip Printing is located in the Stockmeister Plaza at 708 East Main Street in Jackson, Ohio. So stop in or give us a call at 740-286-3023.
All right, and we are back with our good friend Pete Wilson, who survived the Jackson County Fair, but has headed right into the Vinton County Fair.
They do come together, don't
Yes,
they?
they do.
Even overlap a little bit.
Yep.
So that is what we're going to concentrate on here for the next 15 minutes or so, because there are so many good things to tell you. We're going to give you a wrap-up of the Junior Fair Livestock Sale, which is the culminating event on the Junior Fair side. So many kids getting their reward for all their work over a long period of time raising their animals. And of course on the Senior Fair side, a lot of activities there too at the grandstand. And so, we were at the livestock sale. Jeremiah and I were there covering it. And also we talked with Chris Walls, who's the Fair Board president afterward. And we also talked with Austin Owings, the Vinton County Fair Board president, covered the Queen's Contest and the parade. So let's get with it. We'll start with the Jackson County Fair. And this was chronologically, we'll go to Friday morning, the Showman of Showman contest.
Oh, that's a big one.
That is where the showmanship winners of all the various animals of the Jackson County Fair, where the young lady or young man showing the animals compete against each other, and they have to show each other's animals, which is a little different. It's one thing to show a chicken, it's another thing to show a steer. Mm-hmm. So it really takes a lot of talent and adjustment, and I don't think they have to practice a whole lot either, or have time to practice. This is the ultimate showman. That is what they call the winner of the Showman of Showman contest. Her name is Jocelyn Vickers. And she has the title of 2025 Ultimate Showman. She defeated 6 other championship show persons in the contest. Let's mention the others because they are champions in their own right. Grant Riggle, Peyton Johnson, Ashton Fannin, Jade Roach, Reagan Farr, and Jaden Swackhammer. Now, they all showed the animal that they brought to the fair, and then they had to show all their animals in the Showman of Showman, and the ultimate winner was Jocelyn Vickers. We'll have a story on that. we'll swing right into the livestock sale now. This was on Friday. Started just a little bit after 3, lasted to about 11.
Yes.
So, when you have 311 animals.
A lot of animals.
And the auctioneers, they're trying to move it along, but they're also trying to get the best price they can for the kids. I will say this, Jeremiah and I were there, and I was surprised. Not surprised, I guess that's the wrong word because I see it year after year. I was pleased that the bidders stayed with it. Some bidders were there for the whole time.
Yeah, that's amazing.
They bought multiple animals and, of course, gave good prices, usually above market prices for these animals. So the number one animal, if you go by the amount of the cost, the price, what it added up to, was Reagan Farr's market beef steer. It went for $5. It went for $5 a pound, and it was a big one. $7,040 is what Reagan got for that big white steer that you see there. And of course, the Farr family has done very well at the fair. Gage Farr, who has graduated, not in the fair anymore, he always was very good. Maddie Farr, Reagan's sister, she's also in the picture there. She also showed animals and did very well too. That's 2 farm families coming together, the Farrs and the Lewises.
Yep.
So you shouldn't be
You got
surprised.
it.
But congratulations to Reagan and all the kids. Now the other grand champion animals, and Adrian will put those up there as I call them out. We'll start with the dairy steer. The dairy steer was by Grace Lundy, and Mark Porter Ford was the buyer. I'm going to go back to Reagan Farr. The buyer of the grand market of the grand champion market steer was Wilson Excavating. So let's give them credit. They were on the other end of that transaction. Okay, Grace Lundy sold her dairy market steer to Mark Porter Ford. Then we go to a category that's fairly new in the livestock sale, the ducks.
Oh, okay.
And the grand champion market duck was shown by Piper Gentry, and the buyer was the Lewis Insurance Agency and Jones Stevenson Insurance Agency. That is the grand champion duck. Also, the grand champion market hog was shown by Sullivan Murphy, and that was the Jackson County Republican Party. As you can see, that was probably the biggest contingent of folks there. You had party people, you had elected officials, not only from Jackson County, but from the area that are Republican standard bearers. And if things go as it normally does, the Republicans have a hog roast in the late summer, and that's where that hog is going to end up. So Braden Brown and his grand champion market turkey, that was purchased by People's Bank of Jackson and Leedy Angus Farm. There is the grand champion turkey there, so congratulations to Braden Brown. The buyers, multiple buyers, we want to mention them: People's Bank of Jackson, Leedy Angus Farm, Porter Auto Group, the Jackson Firefighters Association, the local McDonald's restaurants, and a Wellston School Board member, Adam Massey. All right, your market beef feeder. This is another category in the cattle division. And that is Michaela Davidson. They're on the right. With
they're so cute.
They are, with their market beef feeder. And the buyer was Taylor Family Farms, which is a farm, I think, between Jackson and Oak Hill. Then the grand champion market lamb was shown by Abigail Easley. And the buyer was Wellston Mayor Anthony Brenner, State Representative Jason Stevens, Randy Evans Construction, and then Buckeye Construction and Restoration. Not at all an oddity when multiple buyers come together. You know, it lessens the cost that each one has to get, and of course expands the exposure to those pictures that get in the paper, and also that the livestock the livestock committee promotes after the fact. All right, the grand champion market rabbit was shown by Noel Ross, and the buyer was Bill and Melissa Griffith. The grand champion market goat was shown by Jade Roach. There is Jade to the right. Remember, we talked about her last week because she won 4 of the top 5 awards in the goat category on the market side and on the showmanship side. And her market goat was brought by DKM Construction. Like the other grand champion animals, brought a great price. Okay, the dairy beef feeder was shown by Corbin Smalley. That's Corbin on the right. The Smalleys, of course, have made a name for themselves at the fair. The buyer of the dairy beef feeder was Circle M Meats out there on State Route 776. They were the buyer, and kind of like a sidebar, Brenly Smalley, which is Corbin's sister, she's the oldest of the 3 Smalley children in that generation. She had the reserve champion. We don't have her picture to show you because we're just showing you the grand champions, but she was number 2.
Nice.
And Circle M Meats bought that, a dairy beef feeder as well. And finally, on the market poultry, perhaps better known as the market chicken, Grant Regal was the seller there, and the buyer was Ohio Valley Bank, Papa Jean's Pizza of Jackson, Waverly, and the Barn on Valley. 3 different buyers there. So a total of, once again, 309 animals sold at the Jackson County Fair. Great job by the Livestock Committee, the 4-H folks, all the folks who make it work behind the scenes. But I tell you what, the kids set themselves up for this success, but it wouldn't matter if the buyers don't step up.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you know, there is certainly advertising and promotional value, PR, but I think that the majority of them do it for the kids because they see a great
because it's kids doing good things.
It's a payoff
yes,
thing, right?
Absolutely.
The 4-H program is outstanding. All right. Okay, let's go to. Speaking of those, all those livestock pictures, you just saw a few of them there. We've got 40-some pictures to run in the paper from the livestock sale. It was just not the grand champion animals, but there's other categories of champion animals too. And those were the pictures we took, and we hope, fingers crossed, we'll be able to get all those in our Wednesday edition of the Telegram, and of course that will be online as well, so you can take a good look. You can to give those kids the credit, and of course their buyers lined up in those pictures as well. Okay, on the fair side, what about the overall fair? It may have been one of the rainiest fairs in Jackson County Fair history. I know that's a sweeping comment, but I've been covering the fair for over 40 years, and I can remember a lot of hot ones. I can remember some storms. I'm not sure I remember as much rain over the entire fair period.
And storm, like scary storms.
It was a lot of rain. It wasn't just that it rained a little bit. When the rains came more than once a day, and heavy rains. Fair Board President Chris Walls, unfortunately, this was his first year. He had to deal with that.
Oh, no.
Now, there's a rainbow in there. He says, surely, yes, it did hurt the fair. It hurt attendance a little bit. It canceled one event, the Diamond J Rodeo on Thursday. It rained in the middle of the Demolition Derby. They had to suspend it, but they did get it in. Ended up getting over at midnight on Saturday, by the way. But what Chris said when I talked with him on Saturday and Sunday was that, you know, the asterisk is there that, you know, the rain did have an effect, but considering that there was rain, he was happy with the way things went because they got in all the events except one. They all started on time. The Demolition Derby had an interruption. They happened as scheduled, and he feels that because of the conditions, the weather conditions, he was happy with how many people came out.
Good.
You know, there were periods where it wasn't raining, of course, but a lot of people, you know, say, oh, it's raining today, or it's raining at 4 o'clock, so I'm not going to go to something at 7 o'clock. It's not something you have to do, so the weather is so important. But on the Demolition Derby, even though the weather forecast was bad, even though it rained after it started, there were over 50 vehicles entered. And the grandstand was 2/3 full. Often it can be full for the Demolition Derby, but that's about 1,200 people if the grandstand is 2/3 full. That is a lot. Now, the lower parking lot where people parked, it was already soggy. When the rain hit about 6:30, 7 o'clock, and they had to suspend things. When people tried to go home, some of them couldn't get out.
Oh, no.
They had to bring in some towing companies to tow some people out. That was bad. But, you know, there wasn't like any accidents or anything like that. Just an inconvenience, and probably a lot of people with ruined shoes, I'm guessing.
I would say so.
All right, but 2 things behind the scenes that Chris Walls talked about that were good. For the second straight year, they had Fun Time Amusements being the ride company. And that has been a problem before, getting a reliable ride company that's got a Ferris wheel and other staples that you expect to see along the Midway. They were pleased with this Virginia-based company. They hope to get them again for a 3rd year. And something that was new that you may have noticed, Jennifer, and if you didn't, I'm going to tell you and the TV audience, they actually hired a company to do the record keeping for ticketing. So even though they had physical people at the gates and whatever, they had an electronic system to do the record keeping, and also they had, through the Jackson County Fair Board website, this company was able to do advanced sales. So there were people that actually bought tickets for the fair ahead of time.
Oh, cool.
But a lot of people do that now. They like to have their ticket ahead of time and not worry about standing in line or whatever. Also, most of the tickets that were sold for the ringside seats, because there were not that many for the big time wrestling on Monday night, most of those were sold through electronic ticketing in advance.
Awesome.
So Chris saw a value in trying this. He felt like it worked out well. The fair board people knew very quickly about admissions, how many people came in. They felt it was much more under control. It wasn't a hassle that they had to deal with that, with the non-electronic information, gathering that to figure up their gate receipts and all like that, which is important from a business standpoint. So they were going to do that again next year. But anyway, Jackson County Fair is in the books, and it was even with the rain, it turned out to be a good one. Okay, we go to the Vinton County Fair, and on Saturday night, Red Thompson Jr. was there at Vinton County Middle School. They had to go from the fairgrounds outside to Vinton County Middle School inside for the Queen's Contest.
Yep.
They actually made that decision a day ahead of time because they saw the weather forecast, probably wise. Okay, these are the girls that were chosen as the Vinton County 2025 Vinton County Fair Queen and Court. And let's go over their names. From the left, we have 7th, 8th grade attendant Amelia Chapman, 1st attendant Cassidy Graham, Vinton County Fair Queen Allison Champion there in the middle with the big crown, 2nd attendant Kaylee Thompson, 5th, 6th grade attendant Jocelyn Perry, and 3rd, 4th grade attendant Isabella Horn. Also, Gabrielle Chapman, who is the 2024 Vinton County Fair Queen, she and others from the 2024 royalty had to give up their crowns because that's the transition day. But here's a neat family connection. We see this all the time with fairs. Gabrielle Champion's sister, Allison Champion, was named Queen. So two girls in the same family. There is Allison after she was named. You can see she's pretty happy.
Yes.
But then Allison's little sister, Amelia, was one of the attendants. So, I gave her name. So 3 of the champion girls were champions.
Wow, that's cool.
How about that? But they will reign over this week's Vinton County Fair. The full fair operations are today. The midway operations, the booths, the concessionaires, the rides will all be going today. They had the Queen's Contest on Saturday night. They had some fair activities yesterday, even though not all things were operating. On Friday, they did a parade downtown. Red Thompson was there for that. There wasn't that many people lined up for it, but they noticed Red's video. About 10,000 people have been on that since he put it up there. But the parade, I think you have some pictures there, Adrian, of the parade. The only picture that we're going to show you is EMS. And now you say, why am I showing you an EMS ambulance? It's because they made Vinton County EMS the Grand Marshal of the parade,
cool.
which was nice because, talk about an important service there that you may take for granted until you need it. That was a nice idea by the Vinton County Fair. So today, the Vinton County Fair will have one of the animal shows. I believe it's the swine show. They will also do. They will also have their opening ceremonies at 1 o'clock. And we will be there to cover that live. That's at 1 o'clock. Our radio stations will be there every day. It will be on WYRO from 2 to 4, Monday through Friday. That'll be live. I think the Porterhouse Rodney Tomlin is going to be there the majority of the time, or whoever he wants there. So you have live coverage there through the radio as well. The horse show is also going on today. And as I said, it's the swine show later on. That's at 5 p.m. And the Vinton County Junior Fair will go through the entire week and on Saturday. And on Saturday, last year, they changed their livestock sale from Friday evening to Saturday morning, kind of on a trial basis. They're doing it again, so it must have worked out. So it's going to start at 11 a.m. on Saturday. And Jeremiah and I will have another long day because we'll cover that one as well. One other non-fair event to tell you about, or non-fair news to tell you about, there is staff training going on today at the Jackson County Health Department. The staff is training on a new medical record system. They're working, but because of that, there's certain things that they
Okay.
cannot do. They can't take request their birth and death certificates. You will need to call those in or drop those off for the next couple days for sure, at least through Wednesday. You can't do that electronically while they're doing this. Also, because all the staff is involved, clinical services that they offer on a regular basis cannot take place today, tomorrow, or Wednesday.
Okay.
The training is to go through Wednesday. The health department put that out over the weekend, wanted the public to know, so we wanted you to know as well.
Okay. Very good. Well, thank you, Pete.
All right, well, very good.
Well, I'll tell you what, it's been a really fun day having President Ryan Smith in here.
He is. He's been so good for the
He
University
has.
of Rio Grande.
So wonderful.
And this man, remember, at one time the Speaker of the Ohio House
Yeah.
of
He's
Representatives.
done a few good things in his life, let's put it that way.
Right. I remember when he played center for the Gallia Academy Blue Devils. Right. He was pretty good at that, too.
That's right. He's a tall drink of water. That helps.
He is, and he is a nice and able person
he's a great
to
dude.
boot. And
Absolutely.
I know sometimes I say nice things, but I don't say them unless I mean them.
Yeah.
All right.
You're right. Okay, and then Pete, thank you. It's great recapping the Jackson County Fair, finding out what the future holds this week for the Vinton County Fair. So stay tuned, and we'll keep you updated every day on all of the things going on. And we appreciate you all tuning in this morning. So have a great day, and we'll see you right back here tomorrow. Bye-bye, everyone.